Hi, I'm Stevie. This is 50 for 50, where I take a look at 50 movies that have in some way inspired me over the past 50 years. Now, I'm going to go for a more recent one on today's episode edition, whatever you want to call this, but The Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg's 2022 masterpiece that is based on his life. Now, as a child of the 1980s, I grew up watching Steven Spielberg movies with the likes of Jaws, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, India, and the three Indiana Jones movies between 1981 and 1989. But after Saving Private Ryan in 1998, I turned off to his movies. My taste changed, and his output was not the sort of filmmaking that I was interested in. I'm being honest here. Then we had the back-to-back hits that were The Post and Ready Player One, two movies that converted me again. Just like in 1993 with Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, Steven Spielberg directed two masterpieces that made me to watch any of his other movies he's going to make. The Post and Ready Player One are movies that brought Steven Spielberg's movie making back into my life, and they are brilliant movies. If you haven't watched either The Post or Ready Player One, go and check them out. But then in 2022, he made The Fableman, based on his life, a movie that I consider to be his best movie since Saving Private Ryan, and I love Saving Private Ryan. Now, a good movie should inspire, and that's what The Fableman's done for me. That's why The Fableman is on my 50 for 50 list. I consider the final scene especially to be perfection, and the final shot of the movie is like the final scene, perfection. But the final shot made me literally think about filmmaking, an aspect of it that I'd never, looked at or never even thought of. It made me go back and reanalyze movies. And now, if you haven't seen The Fableman, stop watching this video and then go and watch The Fableman. I'm not going to go into detail about the final shot, but like I said, if you haven't seen it, but if you know what I'm talking about, then you'll know how absolutely incredible it is. I mean, this shot makes more sense, and it's funny when you consider the cinematographer is Janusz Kaminski, who won an Oscar for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg got the directing Oscar for both those movies. Now, as a student of cinema, I consider the teaching in the last scene and shot to be better than any film school or course. If you want to be entertained and educated in a film, this is a great starting point. And yes, I am still looking for the horizon in shots now. Steven Spielberg and Janusz Kaminski are a great double act, or should I say trio, because you can't forget John Williams, who's scored a lot of Steven Spielberg's movies over the past 50 years. And, got to admit, John Williams is my favourite composer. Now, after watching The Fableman in the cinema, I went back and rewatched next that watched Netflix incredible documentary series Five Came Blacks about a wartime contribution of five prominent Hollywood film directors during World War II. An incredible documentary, and Steven Spielberg's contribution inspired me to watch William Wilde's The Best Years of Our Lives, which blew me away. I then sat down and watched David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, a Steven Spielberg favourite, and another masterpiece and a true epic with a runtime of 3 hours 38 minutes. I'm, I'm also a little poor as I had to buy the Blu-ray because of it. I always believe in supporting physical media. I'd already watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind after watching the Disney Plus documentary Light and Magic about ILM, and even reappraised E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Least recently, I went back and watched Duel and the Sugarland Express. I remember watching Duel as a child, but not enjoying it, while it was a first-time view for Sugarland Express for me. Just like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, can't believe it took me so long to watch these movies, as I was blown away by both of them, especially the performances in Sugarland Express. Duel, Duel to me is a prototype for Jaws and is so well crafted, while the Sugarland Express is something else. Not only was I blown away by the direction and pacing of Sugarland Express, but it's the performances, especially William Atherton. Now, I'm a fan of the Blues Brothers, in which Steven Spielberg has a small cameo at the end. So with the Sugarland Express, I was surprised to discover the police car chase, which has elements that would be amplified in the Blues Brothers. While studying media at university in the mid 1990s, the big three for me were Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, and Robert Rodriguez. Steven Spielberg wasn't really on the curriculum at the time, which is shocking when you consider it wasn't that long after the release of Schindler's List. I'm so thankful for Steven Spielberg for making The Fableman, for opening my eyes again to cinema and its power, for making me want to go back and study film, to make me go back to my cinematic roots and why I loved film in the first place as a child. Now, thanks to Steven Spielberg and The Fableman, I've created my own required viewing, and it's based upon what I've learned since watching The Fableman. If I was to lecture film theory academically, The Fableman and Steven Spielberg would be at the top of my curriculum. Thank you for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and go check out The Fableman if you haven't already seen it. Check out some of my other videos on this channel. I'm Stevie. See you all soon.